Hello and welcome to the Sin Bin 6 podcast. And joining me again, and not by himself this time, is Joseph Terry. Joseph, how you doing?
I felt better after watching England absolutely collapse against Ireland, along with any hopes of Six Nations. But apart from that, now I'm feeling good, and it's great to have the sparring partner back on the pod to, no doubt, gleefully gloat about how Scotland are now the best team in the world, despite my chagrin.
That would make me look like a bad winner, although I'm sure some of my Welsh friends at the rugby club could say that I probably was a little bit, but that's what alcohol does to you. Well, to be honest, I thought I was going to drink myself into a sorry state after what I was watching, but how many times can this go on? Another Welsh scare, another one. Even what? It's honestly like us against England. We'll do rubbish in all the other matches, but we'll turn up against England. With Wales, shambles in every match possible. They'll probably even lose to Zimbabwe next year in the World Cup, but then against Scotland, they'll actually turn up, and it's just unbelievable. But I think with this one, it felt different. It was like Steve, because the thing is, they had Steve Tandy at the helm, and Steve Tandy knows the Scottish defence pretty well. So it could have been the case of just him, knowing Scotland too well. But that happened, and then we had France versus Italy, which I definitely didn't fall asleep during that second half. Joseph doing a fantastic reenactment of his reaction to that second half.
What a snooze fest that second half was. And the only thing that piqued your interest was Lewis Larda getting sin binned, but that was it. I mean, pretty much nothing else happened. 2 late tries. France knew the game was in the bag because Italy were nowhere near strong enough to even get within a finger of the French throughout most of the game, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And we were just sat there watching, essentially, in this case, Bracey basically tried to avoid having to card a front rower for the scrum consistently being slightly underpowered. I understand that there's always going to be these games that have got little riding on it. Do I really care about the Giuseppe Garibaldi trophy? No, I don't. That's a discussion for another day about the amount of stupid trophies there are in the Six Nations now. I think case in point being the Kutita Cup. I know it's for a good reason, but why is there a trophy between Scotland and Italy? Again, I know there's a good reason. It is in the memory of Massimo Kutita, but point stands. You shouldn't just have a trophy for the sake of it. Do I care about the Giuseppe Garibaldi trophy? No, I don't. Do I care that the centenary quake was being fought over this weekend as well? It's like all these made-up trophies for made-up games that just keep it to the Calcutta Cup and then they mean something.
I think between England and Ireland, I think it's the Millennium Shield. The century quake, I think, is between Scotland and Ireland. But
that's it.
I mean, for Scotland now, against England, Calcutta Cup, France, All the Lions Trophy, Wales, Doddy Weir Cup, but don't diss the Doddy Weir Cup.
No.
Doddy Weir,
not at all.
Ireland, the century quake, and then, as you mentioned, the trophy against Italy. All of our games involve trophies now. It's mad.
But at least Scotland can say they've won a trophy in the Six Nations for the first time every single year, despite never winning the Six Nations since. Little known fact there, Scotland never won a Six Nations trophy. Don't know if you've ever thought about that. But, that game in Lille...
That's a thing.
No, never knew it, did we? But despite the game being brutally boring, few things that jumped out. Firstly, an absolute abhorrent red shirt for Italy. A red shirt with almost like black tyre marks on it. Whose idea was that to chuck the Italians in red?
I think the Welsh fans are going to be jealous because here's the thing: despite Italy obviously getting, well, I wouldn't say a thumping, but just getting outclassed by France at times. At least they actually play. At least they're a team in a red shirt that can actually play well. So, I think Welsh fans will be a little bit jealous of that. But I'm sorry, the Reds
really
is
weird.
not.
So weird. It looked like the Chile kit or the Samoan kit. And the funniest thing is that all of these problems they've had about kits have been around colour clashing for colourblind people. And if you're colourblind, it makes no difference if you've got a blue shirt and a red shirt. It would have been better to have the whites in the first place. So, again, no idea why they went for that. Secondly, they closed the roof at the Stade Marois in Lille to try and copy the Welsh atmosphere, which didn't really work because it's a bit of a dead rubber game in the first place. So that was quite funny. And the third and final thing, and I was sending voice notes to Billy the entire match about this, is just Bracey's superb for English the entire time. And it's just the odd word here or there. It's just the odd kind of said in the most English accent possible. Jouer, secondé, allez, s'il vous plaît, allez, s'il vous plaît. And even funnier, he didn't bother to talk any Italian throughout the entire match. He was just speaking broken French. So to the Italian front row, he was just saying, "Stay straight, keep your line, keep your structure."
Surely though, he could pronounce Ferrari, surely that. But yeah. But despite what the result looks, I thought this isn't like the worst performance from Italy. I thought Italy looked quite good at times. I think the first 20 minutes in that first half, though, France were just too physical for them. And that second try really showed it as well. Just France just constantly just hitting Italy hard. But then it's just that second half is just still, I'm trying to remember something from that second half, but I just couldn't. I mean, I was too busy looking at my fantasy team and just seeing how many points Ramos got me as captain, which was, I think, about 112. So, thank you, Ramos.
A few things happened. Lewis Liner got a second yellow card in 2 weekends in the Six Nations. Not Very a great true. Record for the former London Irish, now Benetton speedster. First try in French caps on his debut for Dren as well for the penultimate try. You had Jean-Baptiste Serrin coming on with 5 minutes to go, replacing Antoine Dupont. He's the, I think, fourth different scrum half they've used now over this tournament, which is just ridiculous.
Just shows you the starters.
It's crazy the pathway they've got, and France are also currently top of the under-20 Six Nations as well, so they're still rolling old forwards with that. Even if the Welsh under-20s did give the French a proper old go this weekend, which was quite funny because with all the, I think, granted and I think well-deserved trepidation about Welsh rugby, at least the under-20s doing well. That was basically what most people were saying on Twitter on Friday evening, which I thought was quite funny, if you ask me. But just nothing happened in that second half. Nothing happened. No. And France knew they'd won it. They got the bonus point in the end with 5 minutes to go. They could have had effectively a clean sheet if it wasn't for a major head loss on their own defensive, on their try line, and you decide to play the ball back, but nobody's in your defensive line. So they was able to go outside of the ruck and just dot it down for about 2 meters out. Again, no idea what that was about. I'm totally confused. Sean Edwards blowing a gasket.
I can hear him already, like just kicking off about that try, because knowing Sean Edwards, he will go irate about that try. He will not be happy about it. He despises any of his teams conceding tries like that, and that one was no exception. He's going to be furious. But one thing, and I did notice is player of the match, Miafou. Sorry if I got that wrong. French names seem to always be my weakness, but when pronouncing players' names, but that I think was quite a deserved player of the match. He looked really good, and he's someone who's been fighting for that number 5 jersey. And I think after that performance, we could potentially see him playing even more games for France because they've had so many contenders, and I think he was phenomenal. And I think he's definitely going to be him and Livon again. Terrible at pronouncing names, but they'll be fighting for that second row jersey now, more than ever, unless Livon goes to the back row. But it was just, I mean, looking at the options for player of the match, spoiled for choice. Honestly, spoiled for choice.
It is frightening. It's frightening. That's the right word for it. France have won the Six Nations in round 3. The most positive, the most coping Scottish fan is going to be very wrong if they ever think that they can beat this French side. However delusional one might be after beating Wales by 3 points, which we'll go on to in a bit. But
the delusional Scotland supporter. I can't see him anywhere. I don't know who the delusional Scotland supporter is. I don't know who you're on about.
But France have won the Six Nations now, and that is a bit of a shame because I think we're in a position now where these final 2 rounds are kind of expected results for France now. Italy can get, I think, a good performance out against the English if the English play as terribly as they did against Ireland. Because only 8 points, I understand it, but a lot of those errors that stopped scores were individual errors, knock-ons just before you get to the try line, poor kicks, really weird kicking decisions. At one point, there was a mark taken inside the 22, and then the mark was taken. Excuse me, that was the French when there was a weird situation when the mark was taken inside the 22, and then they kicked it forwards about 5 meters just outside the 22 out of absolutely nowhere, and then that led to a line out just outside the red zone. But Italy's kicking was a bit weird. And also, I think that their scrum was never really up to task. And England's scrum hasn't been particularly great either over the last few games. So maybe that will level it out. I don't really know how to judge the Italians just yet because they're still building, they're still developing as a tier 1, properly fledging tier 1 nation, which I'm not going to give them too much slack for it. I think that they're performing much better if they can get some decent performances out. That's what matters to me, at least. But I think we move on to let's tackle England Ireland because this was depressing as an English fan. Really quite depressing. As a Scottish fan, probably one of the best days of this tournament so far, with the exception of beating us. It's really depressing watch, actually, and I think it's exposed what many people were saying was a key problem, which is that key players are not a strategy. Henry Pollock is not a game-winning strategy. He's a player. This is silly. No.
It was definitely questionable, but I think after the Scotland game, if something has gone wrong, then a lot of the times it's just you need to sometimes make changes. But from what I heard, it was all tactical, and I just went, really? Is it? I don't know what was the plan exactly. I mean, that performance by Ireland was a proper redemption arc for them because they needed that win so badly. And I thought England were going to really give it to them, but no, they clearly didn't learn from their match against Scotland. And Ireland just absolutely thumped them. And the highlight, I think, from that game, I have to say, was Stuart McCloskey's tackle. You know the one that I'm talking about. That was phenomenal. And there was everyone. I've heard some people say, will we ever see Ulster players, shine in the Ireland squad? I think he's that guy. I think he's the one, and he's been in that, and he's been fantastic with Ulster. and definitely one of the best players in the club right now. And, with Bundyaki out, he's been such a good replacement. So, no, honestly, I think tremendous result for Ireland. But as I said, and as you said, the Six Nations already won. It's already too late for Ireland.
It's done. It's done. The game is actually gone now. We are playing for basically nothing. England are woefully against the tide. We are relying on a young player to give us any hope. You get 2 yellow cards in this match. You get a yellow card, 2 even in last weekend against Scotland. Mm-hmm. So you've got 4 yellow cards in the space of the last 2 weeks. You've got Marcus Smith back in at fullback. Marcus Smith back in after Freddie Stewart is subbed off at the break, having already been sin-binned for playing the 9 after 27 minutes. And it just keeps on going. You've got Ollie Lawrence who's starting. I'm happy about that, but he's given security to start at a decent centre position when you've got Matt Tajomo also in your squad as well. Wouldn't it be silly to have Ollie Lawrence and Matt Tajomo both starting? Okay, maybe not. Not like they play club rugby with each other every single week. What else have you got? Joe Hayes is just really struggling on the scrum. So bad he's getting taken out in the 73rd minute. Always a great symptom of a good performance, that. And then even worse, you're in a position here when it's the 3rd minute and you're running down the wing to get what would be a bonus point try. And then, of course, Stuart McCloskey is just going to come in with an absolute heap of a tackle. And that just sums it up because you've got a bonus point to fight for. And England are now in a position where they're on 5 points, level with Italy. We have to beat Italy now to not finish 5th. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, we've got to beat Italy. So here we are now travelling to Rome to play Italy against an England side low on confidence. This is exactly like what Wales had to deal with a few years ago, if you don't remember that. I'm thinking the worst, and I know I'm thinking the worst, but I am also sitting here going, Borthwick ball hasn't changed. It was just that we were playing teams who didn't know how to play Borthwick ball, in my honest opinion. I think, and that Argentina second half, that proved it in that the gas tank just isn't there to continue playing this game for 80 minutes. It's no Eddie Jones, Chisoku, we're going to play, breakneck rugby. It's the opposite, where it's almost like, can you actually have the patience to play line-out ball and driving mauls for 80 minutes straight and still stick to the plan? So there's that going on with it. So much going on. And the thing that I'm most scared about, and I was saying this when I was watching it, is that this is now a situation where England go into a final match of the tournament at a bouncing Stade de France in Paris on a Saturday evening, knowing that you've lost the Six Nations and probably putting out a second string 15. We may see an absolute mullering. And that's what scares me now, is that if you don't attack Italy, you are sure not attacking France. And if you don't attack France, then you get absolutely wiped away, like Ireland did, like Wales did, and like Italy have just been wiped over. It is... There aren't many positives to take from this tie for England, and even the famous names are leaving at half time or with 20 to go. Jeremy Clarkson was filmed walking down the steps with half an hour to go. Ellis Genge said essentially, we played rubbish and we know it. Maro Itoje on his 100th cap looking bereft for words at points. Steve Borthwick somehow has got a smile on his face. I don't know how he's got a smile on his face, because I'm looking at that saying, well, okay, well, this is the Six Nations done. Italy, incredibly deserved winners. Jack Crowley has just put Sam Prendergast out of a starting,
Yes,
10
finally.
shirt.
Finally.
Thank goodness for that. Jack
Yes.
Crowley knows how to kick to goal. Wow. I mean, but seriously, that's basically what it is. It's like Jack Crowley knows how to kick at goal. Jameson Gibson-Park, once again, proving why he deserves to be starting at 9 for Ireland as well. It's almost like they know who's going to start at each position, unlike England. And also, the thing that is positive for Irish fans is that even if this Six Nations are done, I think they've got a good chance into the Nations Championship going forwards to probably get some pretty good results against Southern Hemisphere teams, which, given a very bruising tour of New Zealand, was it in the autumn, in which the results were nowhere near as good as they should have been, I think that's a really good positive for Ireland, and they will probably be on the up again, but they just need to figure out who's starting each position, which they probably are in certain areas, but that front row obviously is still the major concern point, with the injuries really starting to stack up within that squad.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, and I hope that game is have a good drink there. You're probably thirsty after that entire rant there. Like everything you said, absolutely spot on. I just how has this happened? I mean, do you remember before the tournament even started? I thought this was going to be England's year. First title in 6 years, first Grand Slam in 10 years. Woof, out it goes. And it's just absolutely just stunning. I mean, we've seen this happen before, though, where Ireland travel to Twickenham. They're gonna have a bit of a rough ride. Nope. Just absolutely dominating the game. I mean, obviously there was the Marcus Smith drop goal 2 years ago, but the one I'm mainly talking about is when they put 30 points past England, and I think Charlie Ewell's got a red card. That's the game I'm referring to, and it happened again. And England have really got to sort themselves out, because traveling to Italy in Rome, it's not going to be an easy task. And 2 years ago, Italy nearly beat England for the first time. And I ask the question now, can Italy finally do it? Can they finally beat England, the one team they have never beaten ever in the Six Nations? Can they do it?
Also, don't forget that Italy beat Australia in Parma in the autumn, and also kept South Africa to 5 tries as well in the Autumn Nations series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is worrying times. I'm very scared about this game, if you couldn't tell already. On to the final fixture. Wales 23, Scotland 26. So, Billy, Townsend out.
Sorry, what?
Townsend out, sorry? Excuse me?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What a question, Joseph. Come on. That was just third time in a row where it looked like, we might do fine against Wales. Why is it so stressful? Why do we always do it the hard way? It's just, honestly. But I have to say, we were incredibly lucky. That Darcy Graham try, that was something. But I thought that was some of the best rugby I've seen Wales play. They looked confident, the momentum was there, and they just looked strong. They looked incredibly strong, and Scotland just didn't have a clue what was going on. And I couldn't believe the fact that we were 25 down at one point. And the thing with Scotland was, it was the typical game of conceding soft penalties, making too many handling errors. We were just making schoolboy errors at this point. And I think, it's just not, it was not good enough. And it was just yet again another unsatisfying win over Wales. And to tell you the truth, like I think we're going to get absolutely battered by Ireland and Dublin. I have zero confidence that we're going to beat France at Murrayfield. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another thrashing, but I don't understand why when we play against England, we literally. I saw this actually. There was a fantastic post which summed up our matches against England. We were compared by the 2015 World Cup All Blacks. And I was just like, yeah, spot on. And when we play any other team, we're pretty much Wales. We're pretty much like Wales. And it's horrendous. I don't know what Greg Townsend's gonna do. Oh, my heart rate, right? The highest it was up about 140. That shows you how stressful that game was. But no, there were definitely a few questionable things I have to say about Wales. Is why is Rhys Sammet still at fullback? Yet again, it was not a good performance by him. And the thing is, when he's at fullback, he's just under pressure. He's just under pressure. Yes, there may have been a few moments, but I think it was really dull to put when Blair Murray came on. It was really dull to keep him as a winger, even though he's more of a fullback than Louis Rhys-Sammet is. So I don't understand what that was all about. But yeah, I just think that Scotland really need to switch on here. This is not good enough. Just horrible.
Also, Wales needs to be more confident. There's 3 penalties taken from the tee inside 25 meters or just outside the 22 in that second half. You go for a line out in that position, and we are talking about a Wales victory. There is a 3-point margin. We are talking about a Wales victory here. And that will be the green shoots and also the strong regret from this tie will be not going for the tries, because the game was there to be taken and Scotland were so far off. And again, I said about the Henry Pollock sort of saga, sort of Henry Pollock isn't a strategy. Finn Russell isn't a strategy to win a Six Nations or games either. You can't just say Finn Russell do some messy stuff and go just get a try. You need to actually build some cohesive team, which is funny because Scotland, as we've said on previous episodes as well, they're the team, oh, look at how many great players they've got. And they can always create some magic, and they just never do it in the national shirt.
Greg Townsend's quote of, this is the best Scotland team ever. Really now? Sione
Tuipulotu also doubled that as well about 10 minutes after. Said, I also think this is the best squad I've ever played in for Scotland. The thing with Scotland that I can't quite understand is that you'd think they'd have great squad cohesion because you've only got 2 clubs in the URC. So there's a 50% chance, unless you're a superstar that plays their rugby outside and you've got enough caps, that you know how each other play. You should know how somebody likes to play in the scrum or how they like to play kicking, for example. It just doesn't look like it any time. Every single time, it's just like they're learning how to play rugby with each other as a national team. I mean, this isn't like the Prem where you've got 10 different teams and you're playing different styles of rugby depending on who your head coach is. These are centrally contracted players to centrally contracted clubs with near enough centrally contracted coaches. You'd think there'd be some cohesive link between all of these players. And every single time, it looks like they're strangers to each other. I don't know how they've managed to do it. I seriously don't. Because if you look at Italy, another team with 2 clubs, which could be 1 soon if the rumours were to be believed about Zebre Parma's financial problems, and you look at them and you see a team that are united, a team that know the strategy and also know how each other play. with the exception of the French guys who have gone to the guys who've gone to top 14, they all know how they play. And it looks like, I mean, even today against France, yes, they were never really ahead in the game, but you kind of got the sense that they knew which players like blindside, which players like open side, which players would be willing to do a kick and chase and so on. It just doesn't happen for Scotland at all.
The one thing I will definitely also just add on as well with just you on about Italy as well is I think Italy have got the passion and the motivation with them. With teams like Scotland and Wales, that's what they're missing. And okay, yes, there was the England game, but Scotland do not back it up. And the Italy game, when Scotland played Italy, I've said this before, Sione Tuipulotu's post-match reaction was just, he looked lost. And Scotland looked lost again until the Darcy Graham try. It's just something that I think that Scotland need is a good bit of motivation. And this is what I said before, as I said that Gregor Townsend just clearly doesn't know how to motivate his team. And he can do it, but this year he just can't be bothered. He just can't be bothered. Wales, they will absolutely want to take, yes, it's another defeat, but they will absolutely want to take that as motivation, that knowing that they can do it. They've got Italy and Cardiff, which I think that's going to be a phenomenal game. If Wales play like that again against Italy, I think we've got probably one of the best games in the championship, if not the game of the championship. I will even go and say that, because it's just, but with Scotland, it's just, they're just like, oh, we're playing against England, right? We're on it now. Let's do it for country. Come on, let's do it. Against Wales and Italy, okay, that's a rugby match. Yeah, break a leg. I don't know.
Or even worse, you're against, was it Fiji in the autumn series with that random loss?
Oh, in the summer. Oh,
yeah, over the summer. Over the summer when it was just about scraping past the Maori All Blacks and then losing to Fiji in Samoa, but turn up to England and
comeback.
Yep, the Argentinian comeback, scoring the most points in the last 20 minutes for a new record. Question is, segueing into the future, can Gregor Townsend give Scotland wings against France next weekend? If you couldn't get the reference, this is me making the joke that Gregor Townsend is definitely not going to go and join Newcastle Red Bulls the end of this year, a club he already has an advisory role at. But he strongly denies that he is going to Newcastle Red Bulls, even though we all think he is in the first place. Again, Eddie Jones said this about Japan and Australia. This is nothing new. Sorry, go for it.
But to be fair, though, if he didn't leave Scotland, or I don't think he'll leave Scotland after the Six Nations. The only way he's going to leave is if the board sack him. And he has got a contract until the 2027 World Cup, so it'll probably be the season after maybe he joins Newcastle. But then again, Alan Dickens is leaving at the end of the season, so
yeah, there's so many moving parts to that situation that I think the hunch is more than a hunch. Score predictions into next weekend. Ireland v Wales in Dublin. I think Ireland do win this game. I think Ireland probably win 35-12, I'm going to say. Bonus point. Wales get a few scores.
I think Ireland to win by 20.
By 20, yeah, close enough.
I think it will probably be something like 30 points to 10. I think Wales will squeeze a try in, but then after that, Ireland will probably go, absolutely not again. So I think it does feel interesting, obviously, knowing that Wales seem a bit more amped up now, but I think it's going to be a bit of a battering, I think, in Dublin.
Sadly. So, yeah. Scotland versus France at Murrayfield. Okay, Billy, now you give me the answer you think will happen, not the answer you want to happen.
Uh, 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 do I go for the dream? Do I go for Dreamland or do I go for the honesty? I'm going to be honest. If I go for the honesty, France to win by 20.
Does Scotland get a bonus point?
Absolutely not. We are not. Honestly, after seeing what France did to Italy, yes, it wasn't a perfect game. I think we're going to get absolutely physically smashed by the French. They just, honestly, Antoine Dupont's got a. I'm taking a quote out here from Blackadder. He has a cunning plan. He will have a cunning plan up his sleeve, and I just think that the moment the first try gets scored by France, I think Scotland will won't have the passion. As I said, they will not be motivated or have the passion to just go out there and hit back at France. I think it's going to be a repeat of the match they had at Murrayfield 4 years ago in 2022 when France absolutely demolished Scotland, and it was just horrible. And Finn Russell just looked clueless that day, and I was there, and it wasn't great. It's not looking good for Scotland against France. I think France is just going to easily outclass Scotland.
And the game probably of the weekend, Italy versus England at the Stadio Olimpico. I am very scared. I
don't blame you.
I believe, and I say this not to cause outrage, I think Italy win this by 3 points. I think that this will be Italy 24, England 21. I think Italy get a first victory over England. And I think that the slide has started. And I do think that the home form of Italy that is able to hold back South Africa for a whole 20 minutes and defeat Australia is enough to defeat England. I say that with all awareness that will probably be a shout that gets either laughed at or will get seen as prophetic. But I am nowhere near confident. Nowhere near confident in this England team.
You know that delusional fan we were talking about?
Yeah.
I think I found him.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the other way around. I'm saying England to also win by 3. There's always, with Italy, they've still got that problem. I think because the way they conceded those 2 tries against France, I think they were just a bit tired. I think England might just will just edge over Italy, but I'm not going to rule out that this is probably the biggest chance that Italy will have against England, and it's happened before where Italy will give England a scare. Case in point, their last match in Rome, but England always seem to find a way. But it is difficult. Like 10 years ago, it would have just been easy. We would have just gone, England to win, bonus point in the bag, no problem. I never thought I'd go into a prediction where it would be so hard to guess to try and guess who would win, England or Italy. I never thought this would happen. It's madness.
It is. Oh, even better. I've just looked at the forecast for Rome next Saturday.
Yeah.
Absolutely tipping it down with rain.
Hang on. Can we, Charlie, if you're listening to this, just put a voiceover in and just say Italy to win by 3 instead of me saying England, because it's the rain seems to be Italy's special ability that once the rain comes, they seem to just we saw it before 2 weeks ago, and yeah. Oh yeah, boy!
In the words of a great philosopher, it's not looking good. we are in trouble, and I am. I sincerely hope that I return to this pod in a week's time alongside our listeners and can report about an England win that builds and boosts the morale. However, my hopes are not strong.
Joseph, if Italy do win, I know a very good therapist. It's called cider.
Is it? See, I'm more of a best bitter kind of guy, not cider. Never got into cider, despite having gone to uni in the southwest. I never got into cider at all. Mind you, I was on the tribute side of the southwest, not really the Thatcher side of the southwest. So obviously, key demarcation DMZ area there. You know, that's the line whether you're cider or best bitter. But enough pints, chat, because nobody really cares for pints. I can.
Whoa! What?
I can talk about that in my free time, watching England get hammered by Italy. Give Sports News Blitz a follow on Instagram and on YouTube and YouTube and on Spotify, as well as on TikTok for all the content, podcasts and videos online. And fingers crossed England can manage to salvage this sinking ship of a Six Nations campaign. Oh, I love some sibilance. Thanks, Billy, for your time, and have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're listening or watching this. See you soon.